What is going on today? This is the weekly training, and God, I'm glad to be here. It's been crazy and things are just going all over the place, but you know what? Couple cool things I'm just going to get out of the way right away. Number one, I don't know if you can notice, but there is definitely a different setup going on with the lighting. I don't have as much glare on my glasses. And what you can notice too is right up here. I'm going to get my finger right there. It's so weird with the camera, but we actually have our own branding on here now. So we've done some work to understand how we can get that rolling. And now you no longer see the StreamYard logo. Now you see our brand up there in the corner. So super cool, super good things. Things are moving forward. Definitely trying to get into that, being a little bit more, have a little more authority, right? But the lighting thing, I've been waiting for these lights forever. I almost went and bought other ones, and then I was just going to either give these away or sell them cheap. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to be patient. I'm going to hold out. I'm going to just wait for them to show up. And now they're here and they work great. And I can actually look at the camera and you can see my eyes. You don't see just a glary computer screen, and it's awesome. So I'm so glad you're here. And for those of you that know who I am, thanks for coming back. Thanks for hanging out with me. And thanks for being part of our community. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Josh. I help network marketers, attraction marketers, and small business owners learn how they can use social media to build their business entirely online. And so what we do is every week on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Time, we go through and we do some training in order to really just provide that value out to our community, and also as well because we believe that this information just should be public knowledge. And yes, is it possible that people charge an arm and a leg for stuff like this? Absolutely. But our goal is to take what we learn and to give it back to you and to help you be successful, because we know that our success means nothing if we can't help other people reach their goals and achieve their dreams. And so that's what all about me. I'm not going to go too far into that because today our weekly training is all about you. And so here today, the thing that I'm going to talk about today is something that I've been learning. I'm no expert at this. I'm just going to preface this right away. I'm learning how to use some of these features to help build my brand and help, build our business and stuff. But I will say that these are some of just the, like, for those of you that are just kind of getting started and you're just looking online and you're looking for that nugget, this is what opened my eyes, and this is what has been really helping me. And because we focus on Facebook, yes, we've got our YouTube channel that we stood up, and I'll put a link to that below here when we're all done. And that's basically just repurposing this content onto YouTube. Not a big deal, but I do want to make sure that, we have the information going out to you about what you can do with Facebook, right? What you can do to actually utilize Facebook in the best possible way. So then that way you aren't just spinning your wheels, right? So what we're going to talk about today is the 4 Facebook features that you can use to generate leads and sales on the platform. So you don't even have to leave the platform whatsoever. These are things you can do right on the platform that will help you out. And what's really super cool is I'm actually going to do a little bit of a tutorial here today and just kind of show you guys a little bit about what this means, right? And how you can utilize those things and what they look like in order to actually, to make you look a little more authentic, right? So I'm going to go through, and first of all, we're just going to talk about the features. And so today we're going to talk about number 1, having your personal profile or your business page. Number 2 is going to be stories. Number 3 is going to be groups. And number 4 is going to be Messenger. Now, we're just kind of dabbling into stories. We don't do a whole lot with stories. I know that it's something big, but this is something that we've been taught, and we want to make sure that we can show you some of the things that we've done, and or at least talk about some of the things that we've done with stories. And what's cool is that Facebook now has the stories feature for the business pages. So you can actually take your business page or fan page, business page, fan page, same thing. I'm going to call it a business page just for the sake of differentiating it from a personal page. But so yeah, so you can do a story on your personal profile or your business page, either one. But so I want to talk about the personal profile and the business page together, right? Because each one of them can be essentially like your storefront, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen a little bit, and I'm going to show you a little bit about just what it looks like when you have your personal profile set up to generate those leads and sales, right? So bear with me here a little bit. I'm just going to go through because sometimes this looks a little wonky. And so I'm going to hopefully, there we go. So we've got that built up there. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring up my personal profile here. And so something super cool here. So the first thing that people see when they go to your personal profile, right, is they're going to look and see at your, profile. They're going to see your cover photo. Now you'll notice my Facebook may look a little different than yours. My Facebook is actually the new style because I want to show what Facebook is going to look like in the future for all of you, right? This is what Facebook is going to. Now I'm using the dark theme. We can show you a little bit about what it looks like in the light mode. Obviously it looks just the same as what your normal Facebook did, but to me, it's washed out, right? It just looks like it's super washed out. So I go back to the dark mode. Something kind of cool that you can see. So what Facebook has done, you can notice up on the corners that they've taken the colors from the cover photo and actually put those up in the corners to kind of blend that in. Pretty cool, right? But anyways, that's beside the point. So the personal profile piece of it, that's going to be more your organic side of marketing, right? And so what you want to do, at first glance, you don't really see a whole lot going on. You don't really see like something specific that stands out. Now, I am going to be doing some work with my cover photo to actually put a call to action in the cover photo. But in the event that someone clicks on my cover photo and they say, hey, I want to see the whole picture, and they go to open this up, and you're going to see that what this looks like here. And so you'll notice there's my whole picture. I've left that space there because my photo's in the middle. And then over here, you see that there's a link to basically what my entry opt-in is, right? That's what we call lead magnet, or your funnel freebie, your giveaway, whatever it is. So link to that right up top. And then a little story about the picture, right? Family is everything to me. This is why I do what I do, and just go on a little bit about what it is, and then just talking about connecting to our page. Now you notice, so we're doing lives on our page. Our page is all about bringing people together, and we don't have any limits on our page and how many followers we can have or likes we can have or anything like that. So eventually there could be thousands or even tens of thousands of people that are consuming this content. Whereas with the profile, you are a little limited with the profile to 5,000 friends. But if you target those 5,000 friends very, very tightly, and you make sure that only the people there are on your, friends list, you're going to have a lot of real direct engagement there. And that can be very beneficial, just because Facebook you can't run ads to a personal profile. So they have to push that stuff organically. So that can get you a lot of reach. So that's your cover photo, right? And so we're going to come over here and we're actually going to look at the featured photo. But as we go down to the featured photo, you'll see the bio, helping entrepreneurs learn how to use attraction marketing to get more targeted prospects and sales. Clear, simple, right to the point, right? And so comes down, shows what my work it is, the main thing that I'm focusing on, where I live. I'm married to Katie, has our, free video course there. And then you'll notice this featured photo right here says, get your free attraction marketing video course. Has a button that says click here. Now, most people will know that featured photos are basically it's just a picture. So this button doesn't actually work. What happens is it opens up the picture and then you get a little bit more. So you'll notice there's a little bit of the same thing in here in the second half, but the first half is a little bit different, talking more directly about attraction marketing instead of, family or something like that. Just changing it up a little bit, right? You want to be personable to every photo you have. You don't want to just run all over the place, right? And so that's just a couple things on the front end for your profile. And what this does for you is this actually creates an automated lead generation, sale generation, whatever you're promoting. This automates that for you. So then that way you have the ability to just turn around and say, hey, here's my thing, go click it. Now, eventually, like I said, my cover photo is going to get updated. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm not super big on like the graphic design piece of it. I've been using my profile more for personal means, but I'm starting to dip into business stuff. You can see down here, I've shared a couple things with, that are business related and things like that, some lifestyle posts, those kinds of things. But so that's enough about the personal profile. The benefit for that, it's great for beginners who are just trying to start out online. It's great for people that don't want to spend money on ads, that don't want to do the pay to play with Facebook, and they're okay with just building up their influence and just starting to be that influencer within Facebook, right? So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to switch over to our page, and we're going to show you a little bit about the page, right? And so your business page is set up a little bit different. It's very similar, it looks very similar to kind of what a profile would look like, but you notice the layout's a little bit different. And I'm actually going to view this as a visitor because that way you can see what it looks like if you were to go look at it, right? And so this is what it looks like to a visitor. So you notice the picture is a little bit off to the side. You got the cover photo up top. You normally won't see the little gray thing up top that says viewing as a visitor. That's just because I'm the admin of the page. But same thing, if you go click on my photo here, and I need to update it with the link up top again, but you notice this is very similar to the description of the featured photo, right? But this is the first thing that people see. Now, because it is a business page, we're a little more business, in the pictures, but at the same time, we're not doing this in a way to just basically sit around and say, hey, we're these untouchable type people, right? We're not doing that. It's funny. You can see my live going on down there. But anyway, so that's pretty much, how that works. You've got, the happening now stuff. You've got a couple things going on here. These are some of the posts that we've put up. We've got a link to our Twitter here. This is pretty typical of most. We've got a video section that shows recent videos. It shows some of the engagement, and we don't get a whole lot of engagement. We have a little less than 1,000 people on our page, but this is just an example of what your business page is going to look like. You want positive content, you want inspirational content, you want content that people can consume. So there's a lifestyle post there. Here's our Sunday decompress where we went live with that. Here's some other motivational stuff talking about mindset. So just keep that in mind, that those things are super crucial, so that way you stay on top of what your audience wants, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just shut off the screen share. I just wanted to show you that right away and show you the fact that that's how you can get your profile and your page set up, so then you can go through and be that authority, be that influencer for your audience, right? And so I got that shut off now, so I'm just going to bring that down. So next is stories, right? And so stories is like your second part of your storefront. That's what people are going to see when they come to you. And that's where you can put things on like, stories are gone in 24 hours, right? So you can put things on there like a quick good morning, show your cup of coffee, sometimes I show my energy drink or whatever, don't go plastering your products everywhere, obviously. But at the same time, you want to build that curiosity. You want people to look at your story and go, hey, that's really cool. Like, I want to be able to show stuff like that, or I want to know more about that, or whatever. And polls and stories are awesome. Polls or questions or whatever, anything that you can get your audience interacting with what you're doing. It's something that it works really well. It's worked well for us, and I know it can work well for you as well. So just, keep that in mind, that that's one of the things that is super, super helpful in that case of doing those polls or asking questions, doing things that your audience actually wants to interact with, and maybe ask them questions about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. So give a poll about making them talk about themselves, giving some sort of information about that, right? And so with stories, what's the thing with that is prime real estate. You notice that when I pulled up, you know, the homepage, right? The homepage of Facebook, the stories are like all the way across the top of Facebook, and they're just chilling out there, right? They're chilling out there, and they're, you know, waiting for you to click on them and look at them and go through them, and it works out really well. So my 4-year-old's down here. Did you fall? Oh, okay. Well, come here. Come here. So anyways, getting interrupted by the 4-year-old so that way he can come here and give me hugs quick and then head back to bed. So, hey, buddy, give me a hug.
The piece come off.
Yeah, the piece come off. You want to wave? Say hi. Okay. Mwah. Good night. Head upstairs. No, I can't right now. Head upstairs. Go on. Go on. Love you, buddy. All right, so back to it. So sorry for the interruption there, but you know, got to make sure we get that love in from the kids, because definitely want to, you know, don't want to miss that. But anyways, so stories, that's that prime real estate that's right there. You can talk about your products without being spammy. You can talk, you know, about you know, things you're doing with your business or whatever. You can be more relaxed, share things that you're doing, and generally to be effective with stories, you want to do three times a day or more. But the thing with stories is stories doesn't get affected by the Facebook algorithm as much as what you would get with like posts, right? So like with your page or your profile, you don't want to post 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. You know, you generally want to stick it around to 1 or 2, maybe 3 if you got something going on. So like today, you know, this would be technically our 3rd post, right? And so you want to make sure you keep those minimized on your profile and your page. With stories, load it up. Facebook loves it because the more stories that go through, the more chances there are of you running into an ad or you running into somebody's product and engaging with them, or, you know, and do likes and hearts and reactions and whatever on those stories, because the more people you react with on the stories, the more chances you have of your story showing up sooner on the timeline than other people. But most of them, if you're staying active, you're going to stay up on the front. You know, you're going to be on that front side rather than being shoved all the way in the back. So people are going to see you more. So now that we've talked about the storefront, now let's talk about being in the store, right? So think of Facebook as like a big funnel. So your page, your profile, your stories, it's all the storefront. That's the windows of the store. That's where you've actually gone through and you've done all your windows. You've done everything that you want to do. You've shown everybody what you're all about. Now you want to actually start, you know, getting them into the store, right? So think of, you know, Facebook groups as like the conference room of the business, or the show floor of like the car dealership. You know, you're getting them in, you're showing them a little more about what you're about. You can get, you know, you can actually go in and talk directly about your opportunity, your products. You can do deals, you can, you know, do testimonials, you can do walkthroughs, you can do trainings, whatever it is. You can talk a little more directly about what it is that you do. So then that way you can really build on your audience, and you can really build on the people that are in the group there, and you can start building those relationships. You know, some people may not feel like you have this, you know, they may not feel like they know everything about you right away, but as they stay in your group and as they converse with you, they're going to have that feeling. You know, they're going to start to see how your team works together. They're going to see what it might look like to work with you or buy your products. You know, you can show your, you know, what your products has done for you. Maybe you get like a sunburn and you rub, you know, one of your products on your sunburn or something like that. You know, we've got a CBD product that we can put on a sunburn, and it helps, you know, dull the pain, and it helps prevent the peeling and stuff like that. So stuff like that, you can do that, and it starts building those relationships. So then now that you've got someone to see your page or your profile or your stories, and they got them into the group, now what, right? Like we've talked about 3 out of the 4, you know, profile and page, they're basically on the same, you know, one or the other. So where do you go once you get them in your group? Where do you go from there, right? Well, Messenger. Messenger is the place that you take them to finish the conversation. That's that closing call. That's that you get in there, you start talking to them, you know, maybe you did a testimonial and someone goes, wow, I really love that. Like, I'd love to hear more about that, which we'd all love to see more of those comments come through in our groups, right? We'd love to see that on our profile. Someone just go, wow, I'd love to hear more. But sometimes it's as simple as, hey, that's really cool. So you reach out to that person. You say, hey, thanks for commenting on my post. You're right. It is super cool. I'm so glad that I was able to share this testimonial. I'm so glad that so-and-so got on to share this. Tell me, what did you like about it best? Now think about that. This person took the time to comment on something. Why not? Why not talk to them? Why not ask them about it? Why not go through and say, hey, you know, what did this stand out to you? Like, what part of this was so big to you that it made you actually comment? And you never know where that conversation is going to go, right? Now, I'm not saying go reach out to every little comment. Somebody might just give you a thumbs up or something. Awesome. Do you want to? Sure, go for it. But the biggest thing to keep in terms of with Messenger is like your sales call, your closing call. But that's where the money is. That's where the things are going to happen. That's where you're going to build those deeper relationships. You may get people to know you in the group, but you can't rely on just the group alone to make those sales. So you're going to have to do something a little bit different. So you're going to have to get them into Messenger, and you're going to have a conversation with them. Now, little freebie, little bonus, right? Something that we've been looking into and something that we are going to be implementing in the near future because we know how powerful this is. Messenger bots, right? People don't like bots. People don't like robots. People don't like to talk to whatever, but you don't have to make it seem like it's not conversational. You don't have to make it seem like it's a robot. It doesn't have to be scripted. You can really make it like a flow, like you were talking to somebody, and you can just, you know, hey, yeah, absolutely, cool, thanks. Like, make it personable. So with Messenger, using Messenger bots will help you automate the process and will help you free up your time so that way you can go through and you can utilize that to do whatever else you want to do. If you've got a freebie that you're going to give to somebody through Messenger, use that bot and don't sit there all day just having to message back everybody when they want that freebie. You know, don't sit there all day and have to message back to everybody when they want more information about a product. You can set up these bots to do whatever you want. Now, I don't count that in the 4 Facebook features because most of these bots are not from Facebook. They're third party. They're from somebody else. But think about this, right? Think about the power you would have. You get someone to your page or your profile. You know, they've seen your story. You get them into your group. You start building rapport. You start showing that you're an expert. You start doing all these things. And then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, someone gives you that comment that you go, I got to reach out to that person. You reach out to them. You say, hey, I've got this cool thing. Would you like to try it? Now, obviously, don't lead with that, but the conversation gets that. They go, sure, awesome. Click this link. They click the link. It takes them right into the bot, answers a bunch of questions. Or let's say you've got a link like I showed you right away in the beginning, and that link takes them to a free resource. How about that link takes them to a bot, and then that bot does all the work for you to pre-qualify them and send them wherever you want them to go. They get into the, you know, like for our video course, if we wanted to set up a bot for that, maybe they didn't want the video course. Maybe they're just looking for some free help. So maybe they want a discovery call instead of the free course. Maybe they need a 1-hour call instead of a 10-day, you know, course. So that was just a little extra in the end, just throwing it in there because that's something that we're learning right now. We're not well versed in it. We used to have a bot running, but we didn't know how to run it properly. So we're getting some help with that, and we haven't implemented that yet. But everything else on here, we've done stories, not on our page, but on our profile. We've done stories, and they've worked pretty well for us. So many people see them. So many people flip through them. It's always dozens and dozens of people that I see on there. Sometimes consistently over 100 people that I see on my stories, going through my stories. So super, super useful, and just use it for being more you. Just quick things of your life. What are you doing, right? So I'm going to recap this real quick just because I know I went through a lot of information. So number one, go through your, the 4 features you can use on Facebook. You've got your personal profile or your business page. That's really feature number one, because both of those kind of do the same thing. One's organic and free. One is, less organic and more of a pay to play. Business pages are more pay to play. Feature number 2 is your stories. That's another storefront type thing. That's something so people can see what you're all about. Number 3 is groups. Get people in your group, build that rapport, build that relationship, show yourself as an authority, build that confidence. And then feature number 4, get them into Messenger, use that sales call, use that closing call, build that deep relationship, and close that customer. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple things down below. If you guys want to know more about how you can utilize attraction marketing to be able to build your business online, there's going to be a link down for that free video course. I talked about that a couple times. You saw the link in my profile. You're welcome to go to the link in my profile as well if you want to be able to grab that. I'm also going to throw a link down below to our YouTube channel that we did mention in the video. And just more of, check it out, see what it is. It's really just all this content that we're repurposing out there, but it'd be super cool to get some subscribers on there, start getting some exposure, share it out to your friends, let them know about it. That stuff is easier to consume sometimes than scrolling through Facebook. So we want to give up options for people that they can actually consume this data or consume this content. Other than that, I appreciate you hanging out with me on a little bit longer training today. And I appreciate you dealing with my interruptions and things like that. And we will definitely see you next time around. So love you guys, and we'll talk to you later.